Okay guys, this is the last video on the Baroque work Saga, and these are volumes 18 to 23. I'll try not to make this video too long, but there's so much that happens in this. Basically, the Straw Hat made contact with one of the Baroque works higher agents, Mr. 2, who can transform his face to look like anyone that he touches with his left hand, and by touching his face with his right hand he can transform himself, or maybe it's the other way around, I'm not sure, but you get the picture pretty much. But lucky for them, he doesn't realize that Baroque Works is actually looking for them, because Mr. Zero thinks that the Straw Hats are dead, eliminated, because Sanji pretended to be Mr. 3 when he was on the phone to Mr. Zero. And I actually forgot to mention this in the first video of the Baroque Works Saga. But anyway, the Straw Hats make it to Alabasta at last. They go through the desert. Luffy meets his brother Ace, who has a devil fruit. He becomes a lot more important later on in One Piece. But you see so much in this. We find out that Vivi actually knows who Mr. Zero is. She actually mentions it earlier on in the saga. I forgot to mention that it's actually Crocodile, one of the 7 warlords of the sea, just like Mihawk, except Crocodile is viewed as a hero to the people of the country, but he's actually trying to terrorize it, trying to overthrow the royal family by causing a revolution with the civilians, by getting rid of all the water in the whole country. Also, while that's going on, Crocodile has a meeting with his higher officers, telling them to try and get rid of the Straw Hats in case they ruin his plan. He also learns that Smoker, the Navy captain who's in Logtown, is also there. So Crocodile has to deal with all of those characters, and so much happens. Crocodile fights Luffy 3 times. There's the fights between the Baroque Works officers versus the Straw Hats. Also, as the journey goes on with the Straw Hats through Alabasta, before any of the fighting actually begins, all of them actually, we learn about Vivi and her sort of connections in the rebellion. We also learn about the people in the land, how they're affected by the drought in the country, how the royal palace is being affected, how soldiers are leaving the king's side, joining the revolution, the craziness that's going on. The king is actually disappeared, and also there's sightings of him actually shooting a child, but it was actually the Baroque Works agent, and just madness that goes on in these very 6 volumes of One Piece. We also learn that there's actually a huge reason why Crocodile is after the kingdom, because he believes that there's a weapon being hidden, and he needs the poneglyph that the royal family is keeping secret. And the madness that goes on, Zoro fights a guy who's completely made out of swords. You have Usopp and Chopper fighting a mole woman and a man who has a gun who has eaten a devil fruit. That's right, a gun who's eaten a devil fruit that turns the gun into a dog, instead of making it simple by just having a dog eating a devil fruit that turns it into a gun. But that's Oda for you. He makes things very interesting and pretty confusing, but it does sound interesting. So weird. And you have Sanji fighting Mr. 2, and you have Nami fighting Miss New Year's Eve, who is a spike woman, and craziness that goes on here. And they meet a chemical eyelash who's a pervert. And Usopp has a genuinely really good speech in this arc when him and Chopper are fighting the mole woman and Mr. 4. Usopp's actually trying to cower away, but then there's this whole thing where the mole woman, Miss Merry Christmas, I believe she was, she gives this thing going, your captain died, our boss killed him. And then Usopp just stops, and he's like, you never laugh at my friend's dream. And he just basically goes ape shit. Well, not exactly ape shit, but he thinks, right, I'm gonna kill you, you assholes. Chopper, you and I, let's take them down. And they do, and it's really well done, I think. Out of the fights in this arc, I think that's actually my favorite fight in the whole Alabasta arc. Like, I know the whole Crocodile and Luffy one was pretty cool, but this one in particular was really stood out. Even the whole Mr. One versus Zoro, yeah, that one just wins hands down for me. Also, the whole thing with when Crocodile actually confronts the royal family, saying that he's behind the whole thing, they send out their best warriors to fight Crocodile. Even these 4 soldiers who drink some potion that makes them really like Hulk strong, kind of. But even then, they can't even beat Crocodile, and they die because of the effects the potion has. It only lasts for a certain amount of time, and then it kills the ones that drink it. And even then, when they drank it, all 4 of them together could not stop Crocodile. Chaka, one of the great warriors, couldn't defeat Crocodile. And there's the whole thing with the bomb that would detonate, kill everyone, and everyone, all the Straw Hats are searching the whole town while there's a rebellion going on, and it's just craziness that goes on here. And then Luffy gets up, he's fighting Crocodile, he follows him, protecting Vivi. It's just insane. And the ending of it as well, of this whole arc with Vivi and her send off to the Straw Hats, it's so touching in a way, that whole moment with her and them. But one particular moment I think is more touching is actually Bon Clay, Mr. 2, and the Straw Hats. His whole speech, he barely even knows the Straw Hats, but he actually gives a good reason why, and he gives a whole speech about the Okama way and how friendship is not about the time that you spend together. It is all about how you spend it. And he thought that he spent his friendship or his time with the Straw Hats very well, and he thought he owed them, and he felt bad for what he has done, and he remembers the very first time that he met them. So he's like, right, I'm gonna help you, Straw Hat Luffy. And he basically sends himself out as the distraction to get arrested, and he wouldn't not go down without a fight. And great moments in this arc. I can't even remember all of them. There's also the whole Zoro going north and he just runs up a tower. Altogether, the Baroque Works saga, it's one of the longest sagas, I think, in One Piece. But I'm pretty sure the Dressrosa arc right now is actually the longest. Yeah, this was the longest saga in One Piece before that, and it's so good. The amount of stuff that happens in these volumes is amazing, and I could have done a video on my own on these separately, but I don't know, I just thought it would feel a bit weird just sort of doing each volume or even just 2 of these separately. But yeah, so much goes on in this. I definitely recommend checking this out. If you don't want to actually read the whole Alabasta arc, you can watch the 8th One Piece movie, which is actually the whole arc from when they actually arrive in Alabasta and then to the very end. But the only problem is it does change a few things, not major things, but things here and there, and it's understandable because it's an hour and 20 minutes long, but even still, it just didn't really feel that right to me. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the whole Baroque Works saga videos that I've done. Hopefully I'll do Skypiea soon. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I'll have another video soon, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.